The clock is ticking for the city of Portland. 1 week from today, the city's largest shelter for asylum seekers will close.
Since asylum seekers began filling the emergency shelter at the Expo in April, their numbers have shrunk from a peak of 270. Some moved into the city's shelter for homeless families.
Others occupy 60% of the beds at the Homeless Services Center in Riverton. Since January, about 1,600 asylum seekers, primarily from Africa, have registered with the city.
The city is also promoting Project Home, run by the Quality Housing Coalition, which is willing to pay homeowners $700 to $900 to host families. 30 homeowners who've expressed interest are currently being interviewed.
We anticipate that the city will come up with another plan for the folks who have not found permanent housing, who are currently residing in the Expo. What that plan is, we don't currently know.
We're really matchmakers, and we are trying to find homes, people with an extra bedroom, maybe a little more house than they need, who can put up some of these asylum seekers while they look for more permanent housing.
Since the city manager and mayor announced a push for Project Home on July 18th, there has been only one successful placement of an asylum seeker family.